Are you looking for the best 3D printers for beginners? In this video, we will look at some of the 4 best 3D printers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Anycubic Kobra. After having the pleasure of reviewing the anycubic Kobra ourselves, we can confidently say that it's not only the best printer under $300, but one of the best 3D printers for beginners currently available. Much of this opinion is shaped by just how much effort anycubic has put into this machine to make it easy to use. But also the number of features, most of them quality of life improvements that lend themselves to ease of use, you'd expect on much more expensive machines. Top of the list for use is automatic bed leveling. We're seeing more and more manufacturers include automatic bed leveling, but we're particularly taken with the efficiency of anycubic's in-house developed vyper system. Simply tap a button on the interface and the printer does the heavy lifting, calibrating and leveling the bed ready for printing in a matter of minutes. From our experience, the leveling is systematically spot on, removing many of the issues that tend to trouble first-timers tackling manual bed calibration. For beginners, manually calibrating the bed can be a testing experience, and one that you could get wrong, creating accuracy issues when it comes time to printing. With ABL, the printer takes care of all of this, leaving your bed perfectly leveled and primed to create accurate prints with no effort whatsoever. Another feature worth a mention is the inclusion of a direct drive extruder system. The system houses the extruder directly on the print head to offer better filament extrusion and control. In practice, this means you're less likely to contend with common 3D printing issues like retraction problems and jammed or clogged filament that we see on Bowden systems, the other most popular extruder setup. The other benefit of a direct drive printer is that these tend to play nicer with flexible filaments, so once you've got to grips with PLA printing, you can easily pivot to TPU with little in the way of obstacles. The on-printer touchscreen interface is responsive and well-ordered. Even someone touching a 3D printer for the first time will confidently navigate the menus and understand what each setting does. This simplicity also carries over to assembly, which should take no more than 30 minutes and is accompanied by a color pamphlet with clear and obvious instructions to get the printer up and running. As for the print quality, the anycubic Kobra produces excellent quality prints for the size, offering layer heights as low as 50 microns. This means possibilities, household items, decorative and display pieces, functional parts, and plenty more. At number 2. Creality Ender 3S1. The original Ender 3 was a smash hit among not just seasoned makers but also beginners, if only for its low price coupled with decent out-of-the-box printing performance. But, to get the very best out of the printer, owners were required to fashion all manner of upgrades, detracting from its first-timer appeal. With the Ender 3S1, one of the latest and most sophisticated iterations of the world's best-selling printer, Creality has made a concerted effort to make it substantially more appealing to beginners. Why? It all comes down to features and the steady implementation of corrections as we've cycled through different Ender 3 models over the years. The most striking features of the Ender 3S1 is automatic bed leveling, helped by Creality's own CR Touch 16-point system that saves you the hassle of manual bed leveling. Alongside, the Ender 3S1 does away with the printer's traditional Bowden system for a dual-gear direct drive extruder system, named Sprite. We were impressed with the Ender 3S1 Pro during our test. Less temperamental than a Bowden extruder, Creality's Sprite Direct system minimizes common extruder issues while also offering better compatibility with flexible filaments than previous Ender 3 models. Better retraction, better filament control, easy filament loading, and far less troubleshooting to confuse beginners, predictable and reliable performance. Finally, Creality has vastly simplified the assembly process, narrowing it down to a straightforward 6-step assembly process. As Creality notes, the printer arrives 96% pre-installed and based on our time reviewing the printer, it's incredibly easy and you should need no more than 30 minutes to get the Ender 3S1 built and ready to print. So why opt for the Ender 3S1 over the very similar anycubic Kobra? The Ender 3S1 offers a larger build volume, 220 by 220 by 270 mm, giving you the space to print taller parts and models with handy extra vertical 20 mm. That said, rare are the projects that hog the full print volume, especially those usually undertaken by novices, so we'd recommend saving $100 and picking up the Kobra. That is, if you're not fussed by a textured first layer, as the anycubic Kobra's print surface, while excellent for easy print removal and adhesion, is coated with a grainy finish that leaves its mark on anything that comes off the printer. On the other hand, the Ender 3S1 PC Sprint steel sheet is far less coarse. The Ender 3S1 also packs dual Z-axis motors, which help keep taller prints looking sharp by compensating for the weightier direct drive print head and the extra sway or wobble it can create when darting across the build surface. A premium feature that elevates the S1, but the Kobra holds its own with no discernible wobble issues in our experience. And compared to ultra-budget picks? The Ender 3S1 is a more premium option with more features, a cleaner and sharper design, and a more refined printing experience than, say, the cheap and cheerful Voxelab Aquila. At number 3. Voxelab Aquila. At just shy of $160, it's hard to argue with the Voxelab Aquila being a solid pick for any beginner looking for their first printer. And rather than simply being cheap, the Aquila is a confident machine that will get you up to speed and off printing decent quality projects in no time at all. Like so many printers in this price range, the Voxelab Aquila is modeled on the Ender 3, which as far as inspirations go is no bad thing. It gets the basics right with no costly flourishes or thrills. Simple, effective, and affordable. The 220 by 220 by 250 mm build volume grants you more than enough space to take a vast range of prints. You'll likely never print anything even approaching its full capacity. It also prints all the go-to amateur maker filaments, PLA, ABS, and PTG, giving you options once you've mastered PLA printing. It also ships semi-assembled, and in keeping with most modern printers, you'll have it up and ready in under an hour, but it's a little more hands-on than the simplicity of an anycubic Kobra or Ender 3S1, but nothing to trouble novices with a bit of determination. Slightly modded Aquila, source, imager, and an Aquila with micro Swiss extruder, source, imager, the instructions could be better, and Voxelab hasn't put as much thought into easing the ride for beginners as anycubic and creality. The low price does come with some compromises, chiefly the Voxelab cuts out automatic bed leveling, so manual calibration it is, but again any first-timer up for the Challenger should sail through and learn quite a bit about 3D printing in the process. Elsewhere, it features a Bowden extruder system, which effectively removes flexible filament printing from the picture. Otherwise, there's plenty to like, including a solid color interface and, surprisingly for the price, a textured carborundum glass, which offers stellar adhesion and allows prints to slide off once they've cooled down. As for the prints that come off the bed, it's hard to complain with the quality for the price, especially with PLA and usually difficult elements like overhangs thanks to some quality cooling provisions implemented on the Voxelab Aquila. At number 4. FlashForge Creator Pro 2. The FlashForge Creator Pro 2 is the 3D printer version of the Land Rover Defender. All-terrain and gets the job done. These come in handy for many day-to-day printing projects, and the ability to print PVA and HIPs along with PLA and ABS as soluble supports is a massive plus for high-quality models. You won't need to painstakingly post-process, sand, and remove supports, simply dissolve them off for a near-flawless print. The enclosed metal structure adds key stability benefits. The printer is heavier and more anchored down, so there is less shaking or vibrating during printing, creating better quality and more accurate prints. Overall, it's a good solid option for beginners, with a host of more advanced features for once you're ready for multi-material printing. The FlashForge Creator Pro comes assembled so can be used by beginner 3D printers without any expertise. The enclosed build chamber keeps sound in, mostly heat in, and any bad fumes away from you while it prints. It also keeps temperatures carefully regulated so there is less warping during printing, also helped by the metal print bed, and is good for consistent ABS printing. FlashForge provide free email support, so if you run into trouble you can get in contact and they'll try to help. It also comes with a full manufacturer's warranty to protect you in some cases. The printer comes with 2 spools of filament which will last for several large prints, and also a 16GB SD card containing the 3D Slicer software. Overall, it's one of the best first 3D printers for novices. It's fairly similar performance-wise to the Cheetah Tech X Plus, and they only cost $150 difference. The main differences are Cheedy's emphasis on customer service and the build size, so you can decide which one is best for you based on these factors. They're both reliable printers, though perhaps the Cheedy Tech X Plus has the better reputation for being a workhorse. It's on the verge of tipping into a more expensive hobbyist 3D printer, but we will still call this an entry-level 3D printer as the ease of printing and reliability enhances its credentials for brand new beginners.